Hey, I wanted to make a video on Viper Press and how to Viper Press. I'm 32 years old and I own my first ever selfie stick. Viper pressing is one of my favorite movements to do in my training and to program others to do, but it is done incorrectly quite often, just people not getting the most out of it. So this video is for the people that I coach and teach so that they can see some good reps and bad reps and watch it a few times, because it is the kind of thing that I think if you watch it enough times you'll kind of start getting the idea of what we're trying to do here. I'm going to do some good reps and some bad reps and try and help you do more good reps than bad reps. First off, the reason we do a Viper press isn't really to get any shoulder strength or shoulder gains or pushing strength. We are trying to do a Viper to help our log clean, to help our explosiveness, and to help our technique. So the Viper press lends itself really well to Atlas stone loading or just any implement loading. Very similar to a muscle snatch in Olympic weightlifting terms. So I use the Viper press in my warm-ups whenever I do log. Take a look at the video. If you still have any questions, please let me know, and good luck with it all. All right, we're gonna start off with some demos. These are some good reps. These are good Viper press. Easy weight for me, a bit off balance at the start there. Notice the bottom position, chest and chin up, full squat position. Log stays high on the sternum, just above the belly, below the chest. That position might look different for everyone. Squeeze your butt and then head gets pushed through as fast as possible. Here's some less than stellar reps. This one in particular is a common trait or common mistake, which is just clean and then strict press the weight. So we're not really flicking the log off the chest, you're just cleaning it and then quickly going into a press while there's still a little bit of momentum. I wouldn't call that a Viper press, and you're not getting the full benefits of a Viper press when you do that. Here's some slow-mo. Again, notice the bottom position, full squat position, hugging the log in, squeeze the butt, head through. So I'm using as much momentum as possible. Pausing here so you can see at that position what that looks like. Log coming off the chest, full extension and hips forward. Head goes through nice and fast. Now the terrible reps. In slow-mo, again you'll see the log kind of doesn't quite stop, but I'm waiting for the elbows to get under it so I can strict press the weight. Most people that have a strong press, this will be the mistake that they make. And you can see there, I haven't really fully extended the hips. The bum hasn't done as much as it can to really flick the weight off the chest, and then just a lazy kind of press to finish. Pausing those two positions, you can see the good rep on the left. I've squeezed my butt, extended the hips, and I've got some momentum going on that log. And then the shittier rep, the log's almost stopped, haven't fully extended, haven't used my legs and back as much as possible. That will be mistake one. Mistake two would be your start position. You can see here I'm just starting with the bum way too high instead of being in a squat position. So this is taking my quads and some of the hamstrings and butt out of the movement. That one again in slow-mo, just so you can see. Bum starting high, so my quads do nothing. I'm just kind of leveraging and rolling that log all the way over my belly, all the way over my chest. With a heavy weight, that will be exhausting, and that's the kind of reps, that's the way that you guys do it, and I can tell that you're going to get dizzy. I'm going to freeze frame that position there. So that is a bad log position for Vipers, or just even your log clean and press. That's a crappy position. I'll put those two starting positions next to each other here so you can see a good starting position for a log clean on the left or a Viper, and a bad position on the right. So we want to squat the weight up essentially at the start, let this play through, and you'll see that I squat the weight up on the left there for the Viper and then finish with the glutes and hamstrings. Here's some good reps just so you can see. I think these are good reps. Squat position, hug it in, squeeze, and fast with the head through. Full extension there, so much the beanie comes off. That's what you guys got to aim for. And then some slow clean and press. So that's just really just a clean and then a strict press, which is a very common mistake. So you want to flick that log, flick it off the chest. Full squat position, hug it in nice and tight, chest and chin up is what I'm exaggerating there. Go down and get the log. This is a drill that you guys can use to make sure that you're hugging it into the right spot. You can see it's above my belly on the sternum. Do a few pauses and then flick it over. This is another one that I like. I made this one up. Don't have a name for these, but this is to practice throwing it. So see, I'm actually flicking it off the chest at the right time, and then give it a good crack on the third one. So there's a couple of drills that you can use and film yourself to make sure that you're doing it correctly. And then with weight, chest and chin up, squat the weight, squeeze the butt, and then head through nice and fast. Once you get it, it's very easy, but it is a motor pattern that you're gonna have to practice. And I'll find, depending on where you're strong and where you're weak, your body will make some kind of mistake, but it's all very fixable with these drills. And slow-mo again, so chest and chin up. Again, flicking it off the chest before the elbows are perpendicular or they've finished getting under the log so that you can press it through. You do not have to strict press. It's like I was saying before, it's not a tricep or shoulder builder. We're trying to use our big lower body muscles to flick this weight overhead. Some more good reps. This is about, what is it, 70% of my max or something, so it's not an easy weight. And there's a slow clean and press. You can see it's not quite a viper. This one here, bad position, good position. This is going to look different for everyone, but we want those knees forward like a squat. And then I'm showing my breathing. I'm going to try and expand my belly into the log. When I say big breath, I don't want you to do this. See, I can see my shoulders raise up. That's breathing into the lungs and breathing into the chest. You will get dizzy. I want you to breathe without those shoulders moving up. Some more pauses just to show you where that log should be sitting. Breathe without the shoulders raising. Hug it in and squeeze. Nothing to it. Here's some from behind. This doesn't really show anything fantastic. Shows my heels coming up off the floor quite early. So this would, ollie shoes do help just so you got full contact on the floor. Always. More good reps from the side. This would be if I was in a competition. This is the pace that you would work at if you could viper the weight, which is uncommon now. Weights are getting heavier and heavier in comp, so it's very unlikely that you'll be vipering any weights in competition anytime soon. And then a viper split, just cause. Okay, so a few things that will help your viper is your breathing and your start position. Aside from that, a belt will help immensely, not only for strength and tightness, but if your body type suits it, then it will create kind of a shelf if you wear it low enough underneath your belly and the log sits up here. The belt can kind of wedge your belly up and create a shelf, especially if you've got a shape similar to mine. Chalk will also help, so you chalk up right from your sternum down to the belt. So you do not need chalk up here, up high on your shoulders or chest. We want the log to come off this part. We don't want it to be stuck here. We want it to be stuck to the belly when you're cleaning it. So a mistake that I've made in the past as well, and very common at all levels, is people chalking up the top, but I think chalk is the most important at the belly so that the log isn't sliding down on that clean. Wrist wraps as well, so when you viper, sometimes grabbing here and having the wrists cocked a certain way. This lip part of the log can get a bit bitey. We've got one log here. The lightest log that we have has a really deep lip, I guess I'll call it. That one gets quite painful. Wearing the wrist wraps not insanely tight, so they can be quite loose and go further down your forearm. That can stop the log from biting you as well. Olympic lifting shoes can help. They can help sit lower into that squat position at the start, help push the knees forward a little bit because you are in a squat position, and that's what those shoes are designed for. Apart from that, I like to wear elbow sleeves. The elbow sleeves help keep the joints warm and my bicep nice and happy. And if you have nice springy or really tight elbow sleeves, then this is gonna look funny. Once you clean it, it can kind of help press a little bit, maybe a little bit, but every little bit counts in this sport. So there's a few tips on the Viper press. Make sure you get practicing. It is something that you can do very often. It isn't going to make you extremely sore like the Olympic lifts. There's no real eccentric phase to it. It's all explosiveness, so you can train it quite often. And it is definitely worth getting good at. It's going to help your log clean immensely, and if you can get better at cleaning the log to here, then you'll have more energy and more chance of making the press as well. Another benefit is if you choose a comp or you're doing a competition that has quite a light log press for you, well then you can just Viper every rep, and it is going to be a lot faster, so you might be able to save 5 to 10 seconds, which can be enough for 2 to 3 reps, and now you've won the event. Anything else from you, Alira?
No.
Any tips? Alira's got a great Viper press. I'm going to see if I can put in...
Squeeze your butt.
Squeeze your butt. I'll see if I can find the footage of her getting, I think it was 63. Did you Viper 63?
I think it was 60.
It might have been 60. We'll check. Hopefully I've still got that footage. The most I've done is 102.5, but maybe it was 105. I can't remember. But I'll beat that soon. All right, any other questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys soon.